99.1thesportsanimal.com. Yeah, new website address. Postgame after Tennessee's fourth victory of the season. Tennessee defeats UAB here at Neyland Stadium 30-7. I'm Vince Ferrara alongside Josh Ward, co-host of Sports 180 noon to 3 on the Sports Animal. And Josh, this was Tennessee's ball game from the get-go, but the story, especially from the start, was Bryce Thompson and all the turnovers for Tennessee.
Yeah, 3 interceptions by Bryce Thompson. You have the fumble as well by UAB's quarterback, a guy who has talent, but, man, he made a lot of mistakes against Tennessee's defense. And just lining up the entire roster, Tennessee versus UAB, huge personnel advantage. UAB has some receivers that can make some plays, but Tennessee's defensive backs have some athletes. They took advantage of the mistakes UAB made, and the offense didn't do enough to take advantage in terms of its own standard. But Brent Samaglia stepped up and hit kicks that he was expected to, including one from longer than 50 yards. I mean, he continues to be somebody that Tennessee's offense can really trust if it doesn't get into the end zone. Red zone scoring is something that Tennessee's staff is going to continue to talk about. Jarrett Garantano came in after J.T. Shrout got the start. Tennessee's still not happy with how Shrout's playing. I think that's pretty apparent. So a lot to work on coming out of the win, but the defense has to feel, I think, happy about the way that it has improved, and Jeremy Pruitt's going to like those turnovers. Yeah,
there's no doubt about it. A lot of things to point to, and a lot of things that this team can still do better. Pretty encouraging for this team that's on a roll now, having won 3 of their last 4.
Sure. I think protecting the quarterback is going to be a key. It's actually a positive that Tennessee didn't have a quarterback leave the game because of injury.
Right.
First time in the last 5 that's the case, but it could have happened because Jarrett Garantano took some shots. And Wanya Moore struggled in protection. He was pulled from the game, came back in and played later. Against SEC defenses, that could be a really big problem. So against Kentucky next week, Tennessee's offense is going to have to protect better. Against scoring in the red zone, if it's a tight ball game, scoring can be at a premium. You want 7, not 3, and you feel good that you can get those 3, but you need to score more. Defensively, I think they have to really like where they are, but again, against better athletes, we'll see. Kentucky at quarterback's not in a great spot. Lynn Bowden kind of running what they're doing, but over the next few weeks, Jeremy Pruitt's going to be able to find things defensively as well that they need to improve on.
A couple things interesting in the postgame. We actually heard from Bryce Thompson for the first time really this year since, I think, Media Day, since he came back from his time away from the team. What would you make of his availability and anything he said in the postgame?
Well, I was surprised that Bryce was out there. I actually joked during the game, so we're going to get to talk to Bryce in the postgame, thinking that we wouldn't. So right. Tennessee did bring him out. It was a fairly short visit with the media because the media still had questions that they wanted to ask about his time away from the team, and Tennessee didn't want him to answer anymore. He answered a couple. So honestly, I didn't take much away from it. He did offer up an answer where, he kind of thought maybe he wouldn't be able to return to Tennessee's football team. Obviously, he's back, and I don't think there was much question whether he would return back at the time, but would have liked to have heard a little more from Bryce. Maybe we will before the end of the season, maybe not.
Yeah, and then Eric Gray getting in the end zone for the first time. He's kind of hung in there a little bit after getting the early opportunities. Tim Jordan and Todd Chandler really handled the bulk of the work, but you could tell he was really itching to get in the end zone.
Yeah, and maybe appropriately gets in as a receiver because I still think what Todd Chandler and Eric Gray can do can really help them in the passing game. And Gray still has talent, and his role has not been as big as maybe we would have thought after the first couple of weeks of the season. But part of that is because Jordan and Chandler are good players, and the staff really trusts them, and that's a big part of it. Pass protection is going to be really important for Eric Gray to play more moving forward. But with the ball in his hands, he can make plays. Maybe that'll be as a receiver as much as a runner.
So a not perfect performance for Tennessee, but one step closer to bowl eligibility. Tennessee now moves to 4-5 on the year, at Kentucky next week, then the open week, and then at Missouri and Vanderbilt. And there's a possibility for 3 more wins there down the stretch, right, Josh?
Yeah, very real possibility. You have 3 teams that will be confident that they can beat Tennessee, but they are all beatable opponents for Tennessee, partly because of the way Tennessee's playing. Also, quarterback questions in all of those spots for different reasons. And if you're vulnerable at quarterback at that position, Tennessee's defense has shown that it can take advantage, and that will give Tennessee confidence in the next 3 games over the next 4 weeks.
So that'll do it from Neyland Stadium. Tennessee with a 30-7 victory over UAB for win number 4 on the year. We'll have tons of reaction and discussion about this game and then what Tennessee has moving forward starting Sunday morning with Sunday Sports Sound Off with Jimmy Himes and Tim Irwin, and then starting in the morning at 6 a.m. All the way through the evening through Sports Talk with lots more reaction to this. And then spread the word on the new website address for our station, 991 The Sports Animal, 991thesportsanimal.com. Thanks for watching. That'll do it from Neyland Stadium.